minute game was May 4th, 2019. First off, just how you feeling?
Yeah, I feel like I could have played another 20 minutes.
How would you assess this first look as with the new look Nets, the big three in particular, and just how it felt? I know you guys wanted to win, but just how did it feel out there as a group?
It felt right. It felt perfect. It felt like we belonged together. Uh, it felt like this journey together is going to be fun. It was tough first start, and especially it was an up and down game for us. But I like where we are.
Bruce Beck, NBC New York.
Kevin, after you make those two free throws and you go up 127, 124, there's 8.9 seconds to play. Sexton was on fire. Did you guys think at all of fouling him instead of what ended up there, what ensued, the three-pointer?
Yeah, we fouled him. We fouled him right before. We had a foul to give, and we fouled him right before, and there was a few seconds to go. So in that situation, you just want to play it out. You don't want to foul the shooter. But he got hot. He was 1 for 6 to start right before he hit that three to go into overtime. Then he made 4 in a row. Yeah, he made 4 in a row. I mean, so you gotta tip your hat to them. They made shots. We started off hot, 10 for 10 to start. We got whatever we wanted. They threw zone out there the rest of the game into the fourth, and then once they released the zone, we was able to get back into the game after being down 15-16. So it was like, against young teams, they're going to start, throwing presses out there, zones, mixing up their defense to, playing more exotic defenses. And, we just got to be prepared for it.
Malik Andrews, ESPN.
Hey, Kevin, you guys have talked a lot about how you don't want this to just be top heavy. You don't want it to just be the quote unquote big three, but you guys only went 4 deep on your bench today. Where do you think you can work on building so you can get more guys involved down the road? So even though you can play 20 more minutes, you don't necessarily have to play 50 minutes a game.
I mean, most teams in the league, since I've been in, play 9 deep, go 9 deep. It's very rare with 10 teams go 10-man rotation. But we got guys that can score in the starting unit. We have guys that can come off the bench and knock down shots as well. So we just got to catch our rhythm. But tonight was one of those nights we got stagnant, in that second, third quarter with that zone, and we're trying to break it. And then the fourth quarter, we got loose a bit, and it was one of those up and down games.
Greg Logan, Newsday.
So, Kevin, tonight, even though you lost by 12, and Sexton was phenomenal in the second overtime, you and Harden and Kyrie combined for 96 points and scored 42 of the last 57 points. So how would you say the first game with the big three went, and what do you envision in the future?
We obviously love to win the basketball game. That's the most important thing. And, we definitely disappointed about that. But we got a long season ahead of us. So just keep plugging away. I like where we are. I like the camaraderie that we have and we building, the communication, from the coaching staff to the players is at a high level. So looking forward to, keep building and keep grinding. We got the same team next game.
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
Hey, Kevin, you guys were down, I want to say 13-14 in the fourth quarter before you made that run that eventually got you to overtime. I think just when you guys were chipping away at their lead, what do you think was working for you guys? We spread the floor out more. They guarded up a bit more and guarded up one-on-one. We was able to get what we want on the offensive side, and we got stops. We switched, got stops and rebounds and ran. It was one of our fourth quarters more like how we want to play.
Last question, Brian Lewis, New York Post.
Hey, Kevin, you talked about getting stops to get back in the game, but that second overtime, defensively, do you chalk that up to Sexton just being hot, or was that more like some of fatigue on your guys' legs? Maybe.
I don't know. I wouldn't call it fatigue. Now they got a couple guys that play. They got one guy that played 50 minutes, but he hit shots over the hand tonight. You got to just tip your hat to him. He knocked down tough ones. They're statistically the worst offense in the league, and they come back and worst shooting team in the league. and they come back and make 23s on us tonight. I mean, that's shoot 50% from the three on that many attempts. You know, you got to give them credit. They knocked them down. And, you know, they made shots all night. So
great stats. You know, those sound incredible for a first game out for a few great teammates, just first time touching the floor. But like I said, we're not so much consumed about what we can do. You know, we're more or less responsible for, you know, like I said, putting these pieces together and making it work. And offensively, it clearly wasn't enough tonight. You know, we still needed to get stops on the other end. So that's going to be the tale of our season, is how committed are we to that end of the floor moving forward. And like I said, these are just words, you know, until we meet it with actions and we go out and do the little things and we prepare a little bit better. You know, and I don't say that to mistake my words. I'm just saying, as we prepare better moving forward, you know, we just kind of throwing in these last few days. So just putting it together, and we just got to keep smiling and having fun. Like I said, I was smiling when Colin Sexton was hitting all those shots, man. Like, it was one of those nights for him. You know, he gets an offensive board, they tie it, you know, they're down 1 now. KD hits 2, and then he hits a 3, they tie it. It was just like one of those nights, you know, and being back in Cleveland, it was rightfully so one of those type of games, you know, like, hey, back and forth. So I look forward to playing them again Friday, and we'll see how we fare that game.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Kyrie, you know, you are back in Cleveland, and, you know, I'm going to ask you to take me kind of on a trip down memory lane to the year that you guys won the title. You know, this isn't your first time on a big, you played with LeBron, you played on with K-Love. So I'm curious as to what you learned about how stars gel in Cleveland that you can now take to Brooklyn on this new journey now that you guys have James Harden.
Well, man, I know you asking me to take you down now memory lane, but it's hard to just put together 1 year that it took to get to that place. You know, I was drafted here, and we had a few good pieces, might I say, and that's being generous in terms of how I came into this situation with Cleveland. And, you know, we were at the bottom, and we had to start and work our way up. And when Bron came back my 4th year after, you know, killing it in Miami and doing what he was doing, and then he came, and then K-Love came, and it just, the ball got rolling really, really quickly. And, you know, I think I was in my 5th year, I was in my 4th year at that point when we first got together, and it was just new, you know, being around greatness every single day. You see LeBron, you see K-Love, you see myself, you see Tristan. You know, I can name all the guys that we had, JR at some point, Amon. Like, we had a great collection of gamers, you know, hoopers. So when we gelled, it was just playing the game the right way. And if we weren't gelling, you know, we were trying to climb back out of things because we were just throwing our talent everywhere. And we knew coming into every game, we had a great chance to win. And it took time, and it took communication. So to your point, you know, as I take you down memory lane, it just takes a lot of resolve and honest communication, which, you know, having leaders, but having a leader like Bron take a lot of pressure off myself, and then be able to perform and lead the group. You know, I was just learning, and I learned as much as I could from him and other guys. And now we're here, and I'm grateful to, you know, come back and take you down memory lane. But it took resolve, compromise, and sacrifice and communication for that team to work. In short, okay, if you're going to use anything, use that. I took you down memory lane. Now thank me later.
Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
Hey, Kai, welcome back. Doing a project where I'm asking guys about the first time that they played Kobe Bryant. What do you remember from the very first night that you went up against him?
Well, Rachel, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you on these Zoom calls for a minute, so it's good to see you. Well, it's still so hard for me to talk about because it's still very raw. And it's raw for a lot of other people. And I know I'm not the only person feeling like this, because it's just, you know, every single day it's just thinking about him. But
that's what I'm trying to ask about. Good things like your first game.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just doesn't mean I'm not struggling with it still. It's all good. You know, I'm still just taking it day by day. But the first game I played against Kobe, you know, I wasn't really thinking too much. I was a rookie. He was coming off of an unbelievable tear of 40-point games. You know, I think he sprained his wrist a few times, but he had, I think, 2 40-point games the game before. So when he came out in our game, I just saw and witnessed somebody just manipulate the whole entire game just based off of his greatness. He was just taking great shots and just giving incredible effort. And he was with Mike Brown at the time, ironically. And, you know, I know that they were dealing with things their season of figuring things out. So I know Kobe was just like, you know, how in typical Kobe fashion, just what's going on, but I'm really like, you know, and we love him for it. And he was just incredible, the Black Mamba. But I remember most just watching somebody that I literally grew up watching on YouTube and watching all of his videos, watching all of his highlights, consuming all the things that he was doing just to be great. And he was just maniacal about the game. And I became like that. And now I'm just finding my balance in that as well. And with Kobe, he was definitely an incredible mentor, still is, you know, and he left a lot with me. And now it's my job to pass it on to others. So I'm happy you asked that because, you know, I remember that day like it was yesterday.
Did he say anything to you that night?
No. He said something the second time we played, but yeah, like I said, I was so nervous. I wasn't thinking much. It was just my game in LA. I'm just trying to get a bucket, Rachel. You know me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kyrie, for your time.
All right. Appreciate it.
He is always an